Your life at every level of compound interest. You have heard the phrase 100 times.
You nodded. You moved on.
You did not know it was already running without you. The machine you did not know you switched on. Maya keeps a sticky note on her laptop that says transfer $200. She wrote it 6 months ago. She never transferred anything. Her savings account holds $4,200. It has held roughly that amount for 3 years. The number goes up slightly after a good month.
It comes back down.
It feels like savings. It is not savings. It is a waiting room. Her bank is using that $4,200 as collateral against a $280 million commercial loan. She will never know which one. She earns 84 cents a month for the privilege. She opens a high-yield savings account. 4.6% APY. Sets the automatic transfer. $200 every month. It runs without her. 12 months later, her account has earned $91 in interest. She stares at the number. It does not feel like enough. She is right. But she is looking at the wrong number. The $91 is not the point. The transfer is the point. The automation is the point. The mechanism she just switched on, quietly, without ceremony, without applause, that is the point. She does not know that yet. She will. The first feeling of acceleration. Maya opens a brokerage account on a Wednesday evening. $500. Index fund. She turns on automatic dividend reinvestment. Every distribution buys more shares immediately, without her touching anything. Month 1, $500 invested. $1.60 in gains. Barely visible. Month 12, $2,900 invested across regular contributions. $190 in unrealized gains. The market drops 9% in 5 days. Her portfolio loses $240 overnight. She picks up her phone. She sets it face down. She does not sell. Nobody marks the occasion. Nobody should have to. But something has shifted in how she sees a dollar. It is no longer just something to spend. It is something that replicates. Every dollar she invests begins cloning itself silently every single year, without rest, without instruction, without needing her attention. She runs the projection. $500 a month. 35 years. 10% average annual return. The number that comes back is $1.9 million. She reads it twice. Then she reads it a third time. She is a depositor who just became an investor. The gap between those two things turned out to be one Wednesday evening and a $500 transfer. The decade that looks slow and isn't. Maya is 34. She has $61,000 in index funds. She tracks her net worth every Sunday. She maxes her employer-matched retirement account. Not a dollar under the full match, not a dollar over yet. She reads that a 1% annual expense ratio on a $400,000 portfolio silently erases $290,000 in long-run gains. She moves everything to a 0.04% fund. She never looks back at the old one. Her allocation is 80% equities, 15% bonds, 5% international. She rebalances quarterly. No exceptions. A colleague asks her for investment advice. She gives the answer that sounds boring. Automate. Diversify. Do not touch it. He wants to hear about something faster. She does not argue. The first $100,000 takes 7 years. The next takes 3.5. The one after that takes 2. This is not a motivational framing. This is the mathematical structure of compounding at consistent returns. The growth is not linear. It accelerates. Most people abandon the process during the years it looks linear, which are the exact years that are doing the structural work. At 41, her portfolio earns more in a single quarter than she earned in her first full year of work. Nobody applauds. There is no signal. She opens a spreadsheet and recalculates. The machine is not waiting for her approval to keep running. Her net worth crosses $1.4 million. A door opens. It does not announce itself. She is now an accredited investor under federal definitions. The private market appears. A private equity co-investment, $50,000 minimum, 6-year lockup, projected IRR of 18%, a waterfall structure where the manager takes 2% annually and 20% of returns above the hurdle rate. She reads every page of the offering documents. She wires the $50,000. She enters a private credit fund. Senior secured loans at 11% floating. Quarterly distributions. Illiquid. She understands the risk premium now. She is being paid for surrendering liquidity.
That is the trade.
Most financial content never reaches this sentence. Her portfolio now earns through 4 mechanisms simultaneously.
Equity appreciation. Dividend compounding.
Private credit distributions. Depreciation offsets inside a holding structure. She is not playing the same game she was playing at $61,000.
The instruments have changed. The board has changed. It was not hidden from her.
It required capital to access capital.
She now has both.
She is a capital allocator. The next level does not ask what she wants. It asks what she has built and who she knows. The architecture beneath the number. Her net worth reaches $5.8 million. She contacts a family office wealth management firm. Minimum to enter, $5 million. They offer pre-IPO allocations, structured notes, hedge fund positions closed to outside investors. Her effective tax rate this year is 12%. That is not an accident. It took 8 weeks to structure.
Opportunity zones.
A charitable remainder trust.
Stepped-up basis planning.
A holding company domiciled for efficiency. Every layer legal. Every layer documented. Her children's education savings accounts were seeded at birth, $120,000 each. At 7% over 18 years, each account reaches $410,000 before graduation. That is not a gift. That is architecture. She stops thinking in annual returns.
She thinks in decades.
The 12-month calendar stopped meaning anything 3 years ago.
Emergency fund, 18 months. Insurance, airtight. Estate documents, signed.
Beneficiaries, listed correctly on every account. People around her start using the word lucky. She does not correct them. She knows what it actually cost.
She knows the Sundays. The dropped markets.
The months she added money when every signal said sell. The years the compounding looked invisible and wasn't. It was not luck. It was correct decisions, made consistently, over time, with no audience. The machine is running faster than she can track. She stopped trying to track it 2 years ago. The system underneath the system. Her family office manages $38 million. She stopped counting the exact figure a while ago. She sits on 2 private company boards. She did not seek them. Capital at this scale creates proximity. She co-sponsors a venture fund, $18 million committed.
Her name is on the term sheet, not the press release.
When markets drop 28%, she has liquidity, time horizon, and structural insulation to treat it as an acquisition event. People without her buffers sell at the bottom. Their exit is her entry. The system does not force this outcome. The system was designed around this outcome. She knows that now. She knew it earlier than she admitted. The word friend has become harder to define at this level. She has noticed this. She has not resolved it. Some things compounding cannot fix, and some things it quietly replaces, and she is still learning which is which. She is a systemic participant now. Compound interest at this scale is not a personal finance concept. It is a mechanism of economic stratification, running continuously, redistributing quietly, rewarding time and capital in proportions most people never calculate because most people never stay in long enough to see the proportions change. The machine does not need her attention anymore. It has not needed it for years. The foundation holds $180 million. It earns 7% annually. It distributes 5%. It retains 2%. The 2% re-enters the principal. It does not spend down. It grows without a ceiling. Her grandchildren will be accredited investors before they understand what the word means. They will sit on boards because the family name carries compounded weight, accrued across decades of unglamorous, unwitnessed, arithmetically inevitable growth. Compound interest does not just grow money. At sufficient scale and time, it converts capital into institutions, into access, into the kind of structural permanence that stops requiring a person to maintain it. The machine does not need her name. It does not need her presence. It has not needed either for a very long time. Somewhere this morning, a 29-year-old sits at a kitchen table. Mortgage payment is due Thursday. Her daughter starts nursery next month. She has $4,200 in a savings account and a sticky note that says transfer $200. She has not transferred anything yet. She thinks this is about financial security. About building something stable for her family. About not feeling behind anymore. She does not know that the $200 is not the point. The mechanism is the point. It was always the mechanism.
But she will.